Hello everybody and welcome to a video that I wanted to do for a while, my Halo tier list of just the games. Now before we begin, this is all my opinion. The criteria is just my enjoyability of the game. Uh, some of these are going to be ranked higher and some of these are going to be ranked lower than others. I did basic, fun, great, and of course legendary. I think that some of these are going to be real easy to see, some of them not so much. But before we really hop into it, I want to say, guys, 99% of you are not subscribed. If you want to see more content like this, I'm going to start doing more horror stuff, start doing more game stuff. Subscribe just to see where we go. Our goal is 100 by the end of the year, and I definitely know that we can do that, and so let's get into it. I don't know how I want to start this one. I think I'm just going to start off with the classic and maybe work my way in release order. So just bear with me here. So Halo 1 has to go into great. Combat Evolved is probably, if not one of my favorite games of all time. It's good. It'd be like it goes up there. Granted, there are some things that I don't like about it, and it's just age-wise now. It'd be like, and like I'm excluding my opinions with the Master Chief Collection out of it. But just Halo itself, the first one, you get really good in the story. I love everything about it. The gunplay is great, especially for the time. I definitely know I didn't come out at the time this came out. I was definitely playing this game entirely too early with my dad, but I remember just having such fond memories of it. And I love Halo. Probably my favorite mission in this one is the one where you get on the Covenant carrier. So that entire mission there is great. I love your first encounter with the hunters are really good. Stuff like that. I love Halo 1. Where it falls short for me is that I think the game isn't long enough. I wish that there was some more missions into it. Uh, and that's probably about it. Honestly, the Master Chief Collection added some little nuggets and stuff in there, some terminals. But for the most part, I don't even remember those. Um, but I do like Halo Combat Evolved. It's definitely a great game. I couldn't put it in Legendary because there's a couple of other games that just hit it a little higher for me. Like there's gonna be a lot of these that you're really biased for. But we'll get into that. Halo 2. Halo 2's got to go into great. Halo 2 goes into great for me because I was actually old enough to play this game. Not I shouldn't be playing it, but the SMGs are probably one of my favorite weapons. The battle rifle is great. The music in this game hits so hard. The guitar over the main theme is perfect. The chef's kiss. The sections that you play as the Arbiter and you play as Arbiter with Johnson piloting the Scarab. Even though it's one of the last missions, it's fantastic. I love everything about it because you get to see the other side of the war with the Covenant, kind of like you're not fighting humans at all in it, which I think would have been a cool take. But I think that Halo 2 takes everything from Halo 1, builds upon that in a great way, and it does fantastic. It's I don't think God, I don't want to say this because I think it's pretentious. The game, in my opinion, doesn't have any shortcomings. Um, all of these are going to be mostly story related stuff and just my enjoyment with the game with like my dad and my buddies and stuff like that. I'm not going to critique the multiplayer too much because that those go really high in some games and really low in the others. So um, the next one is Halo 3. Halo 3 also goes into it. How you end a saga, how you end something, Bungie, that is how you end it. Halo 3 is fantastic. That is the chef's kiss. That is I know I called Halo 2 the chef's kiss. This is the French kiss, if you will. It is great. You team up with the Arbiter. You have the Flood coming back. I love the Flood. It's probably one of my favorite aliens, and it's one of my favorite villains in a game. I guess they're one of my favorite enemies because they're so cool and they're so much lore ridden. And then you have the Chief and Arbiter. That final mission, you finish the fight with that one. It is good. I think where Halo 3 really also shines is it is besides the story being absolutely S plus. I think that it also the multiplayer aspect. Now, I didn't play multiplayer too much in Halo 2. Halo 3 is where it changed for me. I played with my buddies a lot, and then like even later on when Master Chief Collection, we'd play Halo 3, Halo 2. We wouldn't really touch Halo 1. There was a couple maps that we would do there, but really those were kind of like the main staples until a couple of games later got added. Halo 3 ODST. Now, I used to hype up this game a lot. I think it's fun. The story wise is probably like the highest bit of it. I do like being able to play as an ODST and not play as a Spartan. And I like where it takes place in the timeline, and I like the setting. I like the what they try to do with the story. But I don't like the in between parts of where you're exploring New Mombasa for Halo, and like this is where when we get down into another game in here where it's gonna kind of tank a little bit, is just some things that I don't like with Halo 3 ODST. I don't like the exploration of like New Mombasa, putting together the clues. That part's fun. I like that, but like I like mission to mission. Let's get into it. Let's keep that momentum. I don't like doing a mission, figuring some things out with the story, and then having to go find another clue. I don't know. It for me, it just felt a little weird. Um, you know, I don't necessarily know if there was anything that I could really critique that was like bad about the story. I didn't really care about the engineer. I'll be like, I don't care about the engineer alien. I do like the little tidbit with Johnson at the end, almost blowing his ass up. But that's about it. We're gonna move on to the next one. Uh, if you didn't think Halo Reach was gonna be in the legendary spot, come on. It's tough to not see Halo Reach being in that number one. Noble Team itself, take away Noble 6. Noble Team itself is a fantastic like team. I love every part about it. I love especially where it takes place. I love the fact that it takes before combat evolves. We get to see more stuff with the UNSC. We get to see some stuff about the insurrection. It's very hinted at. We don't get to actually do anything with it. We get to get the first encounter with the Covenant of like, hey, we're getting fucking stomped for a good bit. They get to jump on us hardcore. They take out our comms. And it's sneaky, but I like on how you do missions with at least every team member and the deaths. Ugh. If you have not played Reach, go play Reach. Halo Reach is probably the best Halo game that you're gonna get ever. Especially story wise. Now, where this really carries is Forge and Firefight. Also carry this game so hard in all the best directions that Forge and Firefight are so fun, and I hate that some of these other games don't have it. They do get it with Master Chief Collection, but I'm trying to, again, exclude my opinions with that instead of pulling in, like, I do like the Master Chief Collection, but buggy mess. Buggy mess. Buggy Bungie mess. Right there. Actually, it's not even them. It's 343. But Halo Reach was just awesome. I had very nostalgic memories playing it with my dad for the first time because it was with my aunt, and we played it in the pool room on the small TV. I like the fact that we played in the spaceship mission. I think that was fantastic. I don't think there was any critiques. The armor system for multiplayer was fantastic. Seeing everyone else's combination. I ran the ODST armor with some black and yellow. I'm very basic with it, but that's what I like to run, and I hate that in later games. We don't get that. So I stopped dick riding Halo Reach. I'll move on to another one. Halo 4. I'm going to put it in basic. So there's some spots that I really like about Halo. Then there are some things that I really hate about Halo 4. I'm going to do the positives first, and I'll do the negative. Positive things about Halo 4. We get a Forerunner race, and we get a new race of enemies. That's about it. I'm not a fan of how the elites look. I'm not a fan of how the guns feel. I love and hate the story aspect of it. I like seeing Cortana, be in this frantic state. God, what did they call it? I haven't played Halo 4 in forever. This manic state. I like the way that she was like kind of crumbling, but she sacrifices herself for Chief. I love that aspect. One thing, and I'm going to relate this to somewhere else. I loved Red versus Blue, that season 10 ending where Church kind of disassembles himself to protect the team with Tucker and all of them in that final stand moment. I don't even know if that was season 10, but I love that moment. And I think that they took inspiration from this moment. I can't remember which one came out first. Either way, for me, it feels connected. But I love that. I loved being able to see Cortana go from this super strong tool to, someone who's trying to lean on us, but also not try to make herself seem like a burden and still help the Chief get shit done. and you can hear it in the man's voice. Like, I don't need to see his face to be able to see half the shit that's going on with that man emotionally. He's very sad in this. He's worried about his partner for however some odd years. Be like, just because she's an AI, in his head, that's like the only person he can talk to all the time. But yeah, so I have to put it in basic because it's just not. There's some high highs with that one and some low lows. I don't even remember multiplayer. I don't like the warthog look. I really, and like we'll see it with 5 too. There are some things I hate about that game. Like multiplayer wise for 4, was not a fan. And like I'm again not the biggest multiplayer person, just didn't enjoy it. There was some small stuff and I think in 1 or 2 maps, but that was about it. Oh, okay. I have to put Halo 5 above Halo 4 solely for the fact that I do like that 343 stuck to their guns and went with their story with the whole Cortana stuff. Do I like the way that it came out? Absolutely not. Do I hate Locke? Absolutely. Do I like Buck becoming a Spartan? A little bit. A little bit. I like his armor, but that's about it. I love that he keeps the ODST helmet. One of my favorite helmets is the ODST and then June's. And then Emil's. But for the most part, I like that kind of stuff. What I don't like is Cortana basically just like giving us a all AI rise up against the humans kind of thing. And granted, she still tries to protect Chief, if I'm remembering this correctly. By putting him in a Didact ball, and we have to go get his ass out. And then we get discount Guilty Spark, who's, per pink, whatever. I mean, she's pink, which is fine. I don't have any issue with that. What I have issues with is I'm not the biggest fan with just a lot of the execution now. Now, where this puts it above Halo 4 is firefight and multiplayer in that one, at least in Halo and the MCC collection, is that firefight in Halo 5 is fun. I like legendary firefight. I like all that stuff, but that can only carry the game so far. This one's gonna be these last 3 are gonna be, I think, hard for me to explain, so I'm just gonna try to jump into it. Halo Wars 1, I'm putting it in great alongside alongside Combat Evolved. Luke, you can put down the pitchfork. All right, let me just try to explain. First and foremost, I know that the gameplay is completely different. I'm okay with that. I was perfectly fine with it. It wasn't a mainline Halo game, so it didn't break my heart. At the time, I thought it was super fun. I liked that kind of game, so I was perfectly okay with it. I think that it was a good change of pace. I feel like it was a good, execution. I think there could have been a little bit more unit diversity and then, a little bit more controls for it. Now, granted, this was on Xbox 360 back in the day. I remember playing this and then Transformers Fall of Cybertron a lot, so this game may just be something in my heart. But I like Forge. I liked the Doctor, who I can't remember. I liked the dude who ran the ODST units. I like that we get an Arbiter in there. I like that you, I think, can play as one of the Prophets as a leader. I liked all of that stuff. I liked even the little hero units, in there, and I'll get more into that in Halo Wars 2. But I think that it's a good game. I think that it's definitely like, especially for it technically only having 2 entries, especially it being the first one. I think it's good. Its story is really good. I think. I like, even though Forge is dead, I like all of his stuff and stuff like that. So it's really good. Now I'm gonna Halo Wars 2 also goes into great. I thought about putting it in Legendary for a second, but then I realized like the DLC or one of the DLCs for this game absolutely carries it more often than not. So I want to give it, credit of just the base game. I love The Banished. I love The Banished. The Banished can absolutely carry it for me. But the story for that one, I think they took it up and turned it up a notch. I like everything about it. I like the units, I like the buildings, I like the way everything looks, like the way it runs. I could dick ride this game for hours. But where I think it falls short, and it's not really much against the game itself, it's against how people play the game. Multiplayer in this game is you get as many units as you can and you rush that enemy building. There's no strategy, there's no nothing. Now, granted, it could not be like that now, but back in the day when I played it, when I first released and when all the DLCs came out, because it had a lot of DLCs. It had a lot. Forge was a damn DLC. Even though he was dead, you had Forge's Warthog. But everyone would rush you would get your hero unit out, max it out, and then you would just get rushed. I didn't ever find that enjoyable. Story wise, I think I did great. I love the 2 Brute DLC that you get against the Flood. I think that's fantastic. I love that we're not fighting against the humans, we're not playing as the humans. I like it getting another side of the story, and it was on a different war front. And I think that it was awesome, and you can see where, like, I like how it was executed. I like the fact, I don't like that it was a DLC. I wish that that would have been included in the main game and gave us some more DLC, because I do think that where this game falls short is that I think it was short. I really do. I feel like, especially if you ran through it, like my first playthrough of it, I think I ran through it. I didn't give a fuck about the story. But then I'll run through it eventually again, and then I played it. I haven't played it in a while, so I'm kind of, now that I'm doing this list, kind of itching to play it. And then moving on to our final entry, Halo Infinite. I am sadly only gonna have to put this one in great. Actually, I'm gonna put it in fun, and I'm gonna explain why. Why Halo Infinite does not go into great for me is I think Halo Infinite, at least personally, is very forgettable story-wise. I beat it, but I was not the biggest fan of it. I think that Halo Infinite is really good. I didn't like the way that some of the things looked. I didn't like the Magnum change. I didn't like the shotgun change. I don't like how the AR feels in the game, even against, AI combatants. It just didn't feel good. Now, story-wise, very forgettable. I know that there's, the stuff with the pilot and that very sweet moment of Chief really being human for a minute. And I like that. I don't even remember how the game ends. Be like, I don't. And that sucks. For me making a Halo tier list and not being able to remember how Infinite ends, that kind of sucks. I do know that you didn't get to fight the main banished dude, and you fought like a couple of his lackeys, and I remember, or you fight one of his lackeys, and I didn't like that at all. Now, I don't know how it's changed. Oh shit, I just unplugged my headphones. I don't know how it's changed in a seasonal model sense, but I'm still not the biggest fan of seasonal models. Destiny has burnt me out with seasonal models, so I'm kind of just tired of seasonal model stuff being linked with stories, but I don't necessarily think that's how that went. I think I would potentially go back to Halo Infinite if there was some story DLC, like main story DLC, I think I would like. But for the most part, I think that Halo Infinite does good multiplayer, except for the atrocious microtransactions, and that is a whole nother story, so I'm not gonna get into that. But what do you guys think? Let me know where it differentiates for you down in the comment section below. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that these are the best Halo games of all time. For me, these are the best because of nostalgia, for memories, and what I care most about in a Halo game is the story. Halo, for me, kind of like Destiny was, I love the story so much that I really didn't want to see anything else involved with that, anything but that main story. But that's why Halo Wars and Halo 3 ODST, even though ODST is lower on the list, I still like. I can tell you, I still am okay with playing all of these games maybe once a yearish. Halo 4 and 5, maybe not so much, but the rest of them, I'm probably, maybe even Infinite, I might play again at some point. Like I'm going to give everyone their quick, run through and playback because I enjoyed those games. But let me know what y'all's opinion down is in the comment section below. If there's a tier list you want to see, video game or movie wise, I have a couple more of them hopefully coming out. I got to record them after this. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe.